One of the big stories in South Africa has got to do with the suspension of the National Police Commissioner, Riah Phiyega, who is adamant that he has nothing to hide and instead believes there is a witch hunt to tarnish her name. Last week, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, the acting head thereof, Israel Kamanyani, told members of parliament that investigators had registered a case of the commissioner defeating the ends of justice. And this case also extends to Zukiswa Mbombo, the Northwest Police Commissioner, and this is due to the massacre in Marikana and the findings of the Falam Commission. She joins me on the program. Riah Phiyega, thank you for joining the program.
Thank you very much for kumema, and indeed, kirata go dumedisha also your viewers.
This must be a difficult time for you and your family. Your lifetime has not been filled with controversy, but over the past few years, as a result of your accepting the challenge to become the National Police Commissioner of South Africa, you are now settled with these problems. How do you feel?
It's very heavy, I must say. If I may call it calling, I shall say so. Because, you know, team, to be who you are, at my age, many people have contributed towards shaping me. And when you take a responsibility such as this one, your aspiration is to give back. Because I'm at the twilight of my career and my contribution. I'll soon be going on pension, and I'll be doing other things. So my whole drive and my whole commitment, when I accepted to assist, it was for me to contribute to my country and to contribute towards making a difference. When you meet such challenges, that notion gets very, very challenged. But I still don't regret. I do believe that the police and many other places do deserve the many contributions from the many, many men and women in blue who do so on a daily basis. I just hope that somewhere, somehow, these issues and these challenges can be, overcome so that we can focus on the business of keeping the country safe and secure.
Do you think that you are being made a scapegoat here?
I've listened and I've read and I've had a lot of comments around the fall person, around the scapegoat. What I raised yesterday, which concerns me quite gravely, is when a very serious incident, like the Marikana incident, is abused. That is a very painful incident, not just for the police or for me as a person, but for the nation, and I believe for the world. And the establishment of that commission was meant really to create a platform through which there could be a dialogue, a conversation about actually what has happened there. It's water under the bridge, but we need to prepare for the future. And to say, how do we ensure through that created dialogue and the platform that when we go forward, we are able to ensure that such a similar thing doesn't happen. The commission took 3 years. The report has come out. There are recommendations. One of the recommendations is about my fitness to hold office. I'm truly grateful for what the president has done to create an inquiry where I can deal with the issues that have been raised by the Falam Commission. My suspension is about getting time to prepare to go to the inquiry. Once I am busy doing so, and I'm trying to prepare with my legal team, a lot of peripheral investigations and other processes come into space. And this is why I'm saying, when I look at all those things, I can't help it but to say There are ulterior motives that I'm not understanding. And this is why yesterday when I closed off, I said, I surmise that all these other processes are meant really to drag my name in the mud, tarnish my reputation and image, make sure that the nation, and even the commission that I'm going to go to, see a liar, see a criminal, before I could even open my mouth. And all I was asking for is that, can I be given space to at least present myself to that commission so that there could be a just outcome in this regard, an objective platform that is not influenced by anything.
I'm listening to you. I get a sense that you are deeply hurt by what is going on now.
I am.
No question about it.
I am, because I think it's completely unfair.
Is it affecting your family at all?
I have people that I live with closely, my family. I have friends. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a member of a congregation. I'm a community member. I mean, if I just look at my phone and look at the prayers and look at the messages and look at people who come to my house, I look at congregations that invite me to their churches to pray because they feel the heat of this, because it's very hurting.
What do you think is behind it? Because the way you're explaining it, it sounds like a personal vendetta of sorts. And you know, personal vendettas, whether we like the motives or not, they invariably would have a motive. Who do you think has a personal vendetta against you?
I'm not sure whether I'm able to quote names, Tim, and perhaps it's even safe not to go there. But if I look at the incidences that I raised yesterday to say, what are all these peripheral things that are taking place? I would say to you, just looking at since October, when I was suspended, out of nowhere, there were 2 major media reports in November, back to back, in one day. The portfolio committee was out there talking about, you know, how I was being found wrong because of the Regulation 201 inquiry that they were busy with. And let me go into that Regulation 201 inquiry. An article appears in a Sunday newspaper, and it says, there is mutiny in SAPS. The generals are revolting against the National Commission. The generals that are referred to say, no, we are not revolting against the National Commissioner. They issue a statement to say, no, we're not revolting against the National Commissioner. And there is no mutiny in SAPS. They continue in their statement to show very positive things that are happening in the police, to say, we can tell you about a few of the examples to show that there isn't that. A few weeks from there was a meeting that we had with the commissioners of all the provinces. And in that meeting, we asked the task team that we had set up to read the report of Marikana, to see the implication it has for us as the police, and to come and say, what is it that we need to do? What must we understand? They came and presented to us. And in that meeting, one of the things I said to the provincial commissioners was that, you know what, there has been so much negative media about what the police did. I'm not sure why we are so quiet, because we must at least be there in that space to show our own interpretation of what was happening. Those 2 things are then put together by the portfolio committee. They decide that the support, the rebuttal of the mutiny, and the mentioning of the things that are happening in the police is meant to interfere with the commission that the president has set up. They call all those commissioners to the portfolio committee. They frog march them and demand that they apologize and go and retract the statement. They then go there, they respond to that instruction to apologize. But when they retract the statement, they qualify it. They say, we are not apologizing for saying there is no mutiny in SAPS. We are apologizing for the perception that in what we were doing, we were trying to interfere with the process of the president. This is what these people are chastised for. I am told not to be there when this hearing is taking place. But when the report comes out, there is a guilt finding also against me. And I said to the portfolio committee, come on, the democracy I'm part of, the constitution that we have in this country, the criminal justice system that we have, surely if you're going to find me guilty of anything, natural justice should have taken place. Invite me, hear me out, hear my side of the story. You cannot find me guilty for a thing that you haven't heard from me of. That's what happens with that Regulation 201 report. Then the other report that was announced on the same day, the Minister of Police set up something called the reference group, 2 or 3 months into his coming into the police service. On that afternoon, he also goes out, makes a huge announcement that talks about how criminal I am, perjury, misconduct, all those type of issues. But team, I have never met that committee. They have never invited me anywhere.
Up to now?
Up to now. They are faceless up to now. I don't know who they are, their names. I just know one name that was mentioned in an initial letter that was written to me to say that person is going to chair. They have a very thick report. So when you are going to stand up in public and pronounce like that, surely you should have given me a time to be there, to come and answer for myself, to say, what are you charging me of? What are the issues? What do I say to those?
You believe, Riah Phiyega, that somebody might have given IPID instructions to lay these charges against you?
I'm not sure about that. I'm just very concerned about this haste. Because remember in Marikana, it was a huge outfit. There are many people that the IPID, if they're investigating, have to investigate. I'm surprised that in haste, when we have an apex inquiry about to take place, which might well be touching on some of the issues they need to look into, that they are in the portfolio committee making a public pronouncement that there are charges that they are laying against me. Why do I find fault in that? First and foremost, I just think it is the right of any citizen at least to be approached. I heard about those things, but just like you heard them on television.
But you know, Phiyega, it sounds like so many things against you. You have not been informed on time, or your input is never sought. These charges, these things are never put to you. So if that is the case, and that's how the mind works, it suggests a conspiracy of sorts against you.
And this is why I am saying I might be wrong, but when I sit down and I add 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, it gives me a particular number, and I'm starting to say, that's why I'm surmising that I am not understanding this perpetual, repeated way of doing things. In addition to that, as I'm talking to you, the Hawks have opened another defeating case against me.
Oh, the Hawks have, there's another case?
Exactly. I don't know how many defeating cases have been opened against me since I was at the police.
Have you
and none of them realizes.
Have you spoken to the Minister of Police about this? He's your boss. Obviously, if you report to the minister now and again and you've got these problems, you should be talking to him as your political head.
If there were opportunity presented, but I'm also worried that some of these investigations, like the reference group, comes from his office. He's the one who stands up and makes that huge pronouncement.
Have you spoken to him?
If I was given the opportunity to even talk, to come and talk about this reference group, surely we would have spoken. We haven't spoken.
Do you phone each other? Have you, when you hear these things, give him a call and say, Minister, please help me. I hear things about me
we
from
haven't spoken about those things, particularly that I'm on suspension. Remember, A letter is even written, a national gag, gagging the members to talk to me whilst I'm on suspension. It's on black and white. And as I prepare, I need information. I need people to talk to.
But prior to all of these things, how was your relationship with him?
We had a professional relationship.
What does it mean? That you could not, if you had issues, you could not tell him?
We can talk about our work and do what we're supposed to do. He's my minister, I'm the DG.
But frankly, Commissioner, you know, it seems like that's how the police work anyway. People get suspended, get fired, get given payouts, Anwar Ramad, and so many Sibia and them. But to the extent that the population in South Africa now, the nation feels, but that's how it works, as sad and unfortunate as it is.
Make it right. The police deserve to be employees like any other employee. They serve the nation. We have to create an enabling environment for them to be able to do the tough job that they do. Police work is tough. And we have to create an enabling environment.
From your point of view, besides yourself, how enabling would you say the environment is? I've just mentioned 2 cases.
It is very problematic because yesterday, as I've said, those people that are seen to have been close working with me are being suspended, moved from their positions, placed in positions where they don't add value. It is chaotic, to say the least, and I feel for them. And there are members who are very skilled, who have a lot to offer to this country.
What do you think is behind? Is it politics?
What politics can even, result in that type of thing? We just need to look at a culture of caring, a culture of realizing that command and control doesn't mean being,
The police establishment is chaotic, you say now?
No, I'm saying the whole issue around people that are seen being close to me, moved around. This restructuring is displacing so many people.
Well, they call it an improvement, at least. That, you don't buy that?
I don't quite buy, the ill treatment of people.
Let's go.
Improvement must mean improvement. Then there must be mutual benefits for those that are consuming the improvement and those that are giving the improvement.
All these developments that we've spoken about up to now and the impression that is being created around you being the person responsible for what happened in Marikana, in the minds of a lot of people, particularly those directly affected, it creates the impression that what happened in Marikana, the massacre that happened there, would not have happened were it not for Riah Phiyega. I want you to, if you want to, talk to those people, particularly the families that have been directly affected about this matter. That how do you explain yourself to them? Any regrets on your part?
Let me just say to you, in an environment such as policing and defense, you can never command an operation sitting in Pretoria. Number 2, I want to say to you, I was 63 days in the job, but I had the opportunity of working with very experienced police. If I just look at the net experience of the commanders who were busy working on the ground, I'm talking of an experience of over 200 years, a net experience of 200 years. And in policing, when you are in Marikana, there will be a joint operations committee, which will meet, made up of many various specialists. Because you can't command a thing you don't see. Those that are there are seeing the command and are doing what has to be done. It is unheard of that a national commissioner who's sitting in Pretoria can dictate what needs to happen. And we gave testimony over the 3 years. You can go and check, everyone who was there gave testimony.
Now.
And it is not Phiyega who should carry this alone. That testimony tells the work of the police. what they have done in Marikana.
First woman police commissioner in South Africa, now embroiled in all these controversies, all alone, hurt and disappointed. Do you regret having accepted the position?
Absolutely not. Given an opportunity, I will do it again. And I want to say to you, perhaps the issue we should also be looking into, is there a role, an agenda incongruence that we are dealing with? Because I know that a lot has been said about my being a social worker. But the people that were before me were teachers. Maya Khan was there from SAP and was celebrated. Jackie Silebi was a teacher. Becky Krele has a background teacher. Both of them have struggle credentials. General Petros was a maths teacher. What has changed? That is why I'm saying the gender incongruence and the role incongruence perhaps is a debate that people should come out straight on, and we have an engagement on that.
Riah Phiyega, thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate your time. And that's the National Police Commissioner, facing a whole number of issues, but found time to talk to us here on Tonight with Tim Modise.